My overhead rig is custom built to work in my apartment's tiny studio space. I've gotten a few questions about this thing, so let's take a closer look at it, shall we? It's super simple, and it's really based on two design criteria, and that's that it's easily set up and removed and that it stores nicely in my closet. I'd seen some standalone rigs that sit on top of the desk, but I didn't think that'd be easy to store, so I decided to just use these shelves as the starting point to raise the camera up above the workspace. Okay, first things first, the structure. This is really just some 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch plywood I had laying around. This base is 1/2 inch and then everything else is 3/4 inch. To make it easy to take on and off, I drilled 3 holes in the base and then transferred that pattern to the shelves. And I'm using, I think these are 5/16 18 bolts with big fender washers up top and wing nuts down below. That way I don't have to use any tools to take it on or off. I can just do everything by hand. I drilled the 3 holes, but I really only used 2 of them. Back up top there are 2 positions for the camera. Landscape here and portrait here. I counterbored the holes for these 1/4 20 mounting screws, and they're threaded into the wood so they won't fall out. This is one of my favorite parts. The Allen wrench for these screws lives right here, and I even embedded a little magnet in the plywood so it stays put. Okay, let's talk about the monitor. Now, this is pretty new. I added this a couple months ago. It used to be I would mount my camera and the flip screen would just be at this ridiculous angle and I couldn't see what I was filming from down where I was working. Not great. So I bought literally the cheapest monitor I could find that fit in this space, mounted it using a cold shoe and this pivot point, and then added in a cross beam and used a 90-degree hinge that brings it just about flush with the shelf when it's flipped down. I like to use these binder clips for cable management. And there you have it. That's my easily deployable overhead shooting rig. And of course it breaks down just as easily as it sets up to store in the closet. So I realize this video is a bit different than others I've made in the past in that I didn't show you the build process exactly. But this overhead rig was one of those ideas that I just kind of had and I knew exactly how I wanted to build it. And taking out the camera really would have just kind of slowed me down and gotten in the way. I've written a bit about this on my website already, but I do find the filming process to be really cumbersome, and I find it's important to allow myself to build things off camera just to preserve the enjoyment of the process. Anyways, I hope you were able to get some good ideas for your own overhead rig, and if you have any questions about what I did, feel free to ask away in the comments. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, especially for sticking around to the end, and I hope to see you again soon.